You know, it's ironic because our Toastmasters said as I was coming up here, when we were talking about the title of my speech, he said, hey, you know, failure is not an option. And I think we've all heard that phrase before. And it is a great phrase. It's a phrase that's used by gung-ho people who are looking at a challenge, maybe almost an insurmountable challenge, who say, listen, I understand it's a big challenge, but I think that I'm up to it. I think that I can meet that challenge. I think that despite the fact that it is such a big challenge, I'm still going to be successful. And I want to let you know, my hat is off to those people. There have been people who have accomplished absolutely amazing things, and they are my heroes. But that's not what I'm going to talk to you about today. I'm going to talk to you about something else today. I'm going to talk to you about failure. Now it's interesting, because when I say the word failure, I think we all have sort of the same internal reaction, almost like a little mental recoil, because we see failure as being a bad thing. It sort of indicates that we tried to do something, it didn't work out, and then either A, we wasted our time, or we weren't able to accomplish something that we wanted to do, and we sort of throw up our hands and say, wow, I don't want any part of that failure, because I am a successful person, and successful people don't deal with failure. So there you go, end of story, right? Well, I'd like to sort of present it slightly differently to you, because failure is a part of my life. It took me a little while to understand this, but not only is it a part of my life, but it's a big part of my life. I would say I don't get through the average day without failing at least once, and probably, arguably, multiple times during the day. Now, you know, some of my failure stories are going to seem sort of common to you. You've heard these before, right? One of my favorite failure stories is, you know, like when I go to a restaurant and I pull into the parking lot and I see somebody else pull into the parking lot, park their car, get out of their car, leave the lights on, and go into the restaurant. I'm the person who's running after them saying, wait! Your car lights are on! Sounds like a good thing to do, right? And that's when they turn around to me and say, yeah, I know, you know, they turn off automatically, right? Heart in the right place, failure of execution, right? We can go on this forever and ever, right? How many times have I found an animal wandering the neighborhood, walked up to the house that I found it in front of, knocked on the door and said, I found your animal, only to have them say, that's a beautiful animal. You know, we actually don't have any pets. Once again, heart in the right place, complete and total failure. Now, you're probably thinking, wow, that's incredibly depressing, but it's not. And the reason it's not depressing to me is I've learned to live with failure. Failure is such a key and important part of my life. It's not something that I fear, but rather something that I expect. So try this one on for size. You get ready to do something. And if you're like a normal person, you're probably like, wow, this is going to turn out pretty well. I'm excited about doing this. I can hardly wait until I can check this off my list of things that I've accomplished. My approach is different. When I get ready to do something, I'm thinking to myself, this is not going to go well. This is not going to turn out the way that I want it to. I'm probably going to fail at doing this. And you know what? Often that's exactly what happens. How surprised am I when I fail? I'm not surprised at all because I anticipated my failure beforehand. Now, I would suspect if you start out to do something and you're not successful, you feel internally a sense of sadness, a sense of disappointment. It's like, wow, that really didn't go well for me. And probably you're moody for, I don't know, the rest of the day, the rest of the week, perhaps the whole month is sort of shot for you at that point in time. You know, I feel sort of bad for you there. In terms of me, however, just to point out, you know, if I fail at something, I expected to fail at it. So if it turns out that indeed I did fail at it, how am I feeling? I'm feeling like it went pretty much how I expected it to turn out. I'm not feeling that bad about it, thank you very much. In fact, I'm ready to go in and start my next potential failure activity. Okay? Not a problem whatsoever. Now, I can see you starting to go, dear goodness, Jim, how do you find the energy to go on with life with that much failure in front of you? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. Every once in a while, not that often, but every once in a while, when I do something with the full expectation that I'm going to fail, I fail at failing. I fail at failing. In other words, I'm successful. I throw up my hands. It's like, wait, no, this wasn't what I expected to have happen. I've successfully completed this task. I don't have to repeat it. I don't have to repair it. I don't have to apologize to anybody. I did it successfully. It's the weirdest thing in the world. I can't really quite explain it. I don't really quite know what to do with myself when that happens. Thankfully, it doesn't really happen that often, okay? So it's not that big of a deal. But it's a little awkward when it does, because I don't really have a good way of dealing with that, because I'm not used to it. So, should you feel failure? No! Treat failure like I do. Failure is an old friend who's always there for you, always right next to you. If you anticipate that you will fail at something, you can only be satisfied when it happens. You may get surprised if you fail to fail. Just a donut.